That's amazing. All things considered, there's way worse photos they could have picked for me. Woo. All right, so I'm a lot of people's Bible study leader, guys. It's kind of impressive. All right, I'm going to start us off a little bit of prayer, though, before I give my testimony. God, thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my testimony with everybody. I just pray that you use it to encourage them and to just help them with any struggles that they might also be going through in their lives. Amen. All right, so for those of you who don't know me, it's kind of up there, but my name is Justin. So a little backstory on me. I grew up Christian family. Both my parents were really active in the church, which led me to also be a very active participant in church activities. As a family, we did all the typical things, went to church every Sunday, did all the youth group activities, but even when I was doing all this, I still felt like I was missing something. I would hang out with my friends, and then whenever I went home, I'd feel like this empty void inside me. I always wanted to be surrounded by people, and when I wasn't, I felt like I wasn't doing life right. This led me to start seeking other people's approval and doing my best to get them to like me. I did everything that I could to be well-liked because I didn't want to be left out. And throughout this time, I would say I became a very two-faced person. Around my Christian friends, I'd be the pious religious rule follower, and around my other non-Christian friends, I'd be more willing to break the rules, be rude to others, and all in all, just kind of leave my Christianity at the door. This loneliness I felt also manifested itself in other aspects of my life. I tried to find other ways to fill that lonely void in my life, and pornography became an addiction for me. Starting in high school, it took over my life, and when I was alone, those thoughts would get lodged in my head, and I thought maybe that was the way to feel happy when I was alone. But I was always left with that void in my heart, and I knew there was something more, though, something that I was missing. And I wrestled with what it could be, though, because I thought I had Jesus in my life, so clearly it was something else that I needed. During high school, though, I started working at a Culver's. I worked the closing shift, and while we were closing, I hung out with more non-Christian friends, and I talked to them and realized that they also felt lonely like I did. They were always looking for ways to fill that loneliness. They tried to fill as much of their time by hanging out with others so they didn't feel alone. And I saw that I was acting like my coworkers and trying to fill that loneliness with other people and my addictions. To suppress, sorry, I missed my spot. All right, I started to realize that I had not truly been trusting the Lord in all aspects of my life. And I lost my spot again. Should have studied this more. I had convinced myself that I was trusting the Lord fully, but I was still trying to control my life, and I wasn't letting the Lord get close to me to do His work. So during this time in high school, that's when I decided that I wanted to recommit my life to Christ. I didn't want to be dependent on others or my addictions for happiness. I wanted to be truly reliant on the Lord. And the more that I dove into my Bible and my relationship with the Lord, I realized that I cared less and less about what other people thought about me, and I was more content in my life. And I didn't mind being by myself. I didn't feel that void of loneliness when I was by myself. I didn't feel like I was missing something as much. And throughout this experience, I learned how to trust the Lord even when I was at a low, and that I didn't need people surrounding me to be happy. Even though I was making these strides towards being reliant on God and God alone for my happiness, I still felt alone and without any friends. So when college started, I kind of felt alone without any friends to support me, and so that kind of reset in my life caused me to slip back into my old ways of seeking out friends to make me happy. I was constantly trying to be at every event and hanging out with friends whenever I could, so that I felt I had people around me. Sometimes, though, I had other commitments, and I'd miss a hangout here and there, and I started to feel that emptiness that I thought I left behind me creep back into my life. I realized that I'd started to look back to the people around me for my happiness. As I continued through my first year at college, I struggled with knowing what exactly my motives were. I wanted to go and hang out with people because I liked doing the activities and I enjoyed hanging out with my friends. But I didn't know if I was going just because I wanted the validation of the people there and I wanted to feel like I had somebody. So to be completely honest with you, that's something that I still struggle with today, and it's definitely an area that I'm learning to rely more and more on God for. Through trials like that, though, I've continued to grow in my relationship and learn how to trust in the Lord for my identity. I've learned that the Lord is the one that I should seek to find my joy and not the people around me. Psalms 23 has been very helpful for me in my walk with the Lord, and I found verse 4 to be very applicable for me in this area. So verse 4 reads, "Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." Even though I may feel like I'm walking in a dark and lonely place, I can have the assurance that God will be there for me, and he will not leave me alone, and he is there to comfort me even at my loneliest time. Thank you.